Hi, following on from my earlier video, recap of events. He was making love to his counterfeit wife as he was consummating their relationship a few days back, as in the other video, which was killing me, which reminded me of a slaughterhouse again, with me being the slaughtered. Then I thought about Christ and his lashings at Calvary and how brutal that was. My heart broke for another time, and Christ showed me him that hurting me was hurting him, because he was giving a gift of an open door, and he was hurting him because he wants to love him too, and doesn't want to lose his soul, and he knows what's best for him. And also he is accepted and loved the way he is, damaged, even though he hurts us. His grace passes all inequities. We are desperate to get to him, to the other side. We were desperate to get to him, as in my kingdom spouse, as he's in a circumstance where he's hurting himself, but he says he enjoys it. So, and his heart broke twice, and I could feel it because of that grace that Christ was showing me and him in that video where I was crying. Okay, and then after his heart was broke for whatever mysterious reason, he made love to her again with his counterfeit wife, whilst I was writing these notes, but he still wanted to be in my world, as it's a lighter relief than his. And then he goes back to that world because it's dark, and that's who he is. He's like in the middle. But he still wanted to be in my world whilst indulging in his favourite passion. He keeps saying I'm in the future and believes in it, but needs to get it away with his wife because they want to consummate their relationship, because he couldn't get an erection, and it was all tied up with me making him well in that section, and like he's took it back to her again after loads of warnings from God. He ignored it, so he's handing him over to his lusts. But he was angry because he was abused from birth, and he can't understand why God would force him to love someone that he doesn't love. As a natural one-to-one meeting, he can't understand why he would bring someone to him without free will. And I've been getting into all sorts of things that have been downloaded about Satan, and like he kind of sympathises with him because like things have been revealed about the way he rebelled and against God, and he's trying to block my brain right now. Rebelled against God, and because I think he didn't have free choice, but he got a bit ahead of himself and put him on parallel with God, and it says God said something about casting him out, and his head got smaller and smaller and smaller, so he took those powers away from him. So what my kingdom spouse has a problem with is there is free choice, free will with that grace thing. Why can't he exercise it with the woman that he loves, and the fact that he's been brought together with me and linked up, and we feel each other's pain, and I can't have it away with this woman because I'm there, I can feel him, and he can't enjoy it, and and I'm there being tortured because he's put this thing in us, or might be under love spells, I don't know. Don't know. That we haven't ultimately got free choice. Anyway, now I feel like I've lost him because of her. But I've got faith enough to know that it's going to work out okay. But it's just being tied to this person who doesn't want you, plays games. He wants you out of their life, and in a way it's rightful that if he's being torn away from someone he loves. I don't know. on having to deal with this. Go on and pretend he doesn't exist and feel the pain of him mounting her and her mounting him, and it feels like splice because it's so dark, the dark energy. But he doesn't want to commit to an idea of a kingdom spouse till he knows that question. Why stand up for free will with grace if you don't have it at the end of the day? And God answered because like that pot turning round to its master, Bible quote, I'll put it in this bit in a bit, that you ain't got a choice, mate. It's either black and white. You're either with them or with me. And you can't understand why I've got the faith. I've asked those questions about why are things against our will. But it's just the way it is. You just have to have that leap of faith to know that Christ is good for you. And apparently Christ loved Satan as much, and he took it on himself that he was bigger than him or an equal. And it comes back to this question: why would God create something that would ultimately be a challenge to him? And like my kingdom spouse thinks, well, he's just as bad. He's a bigger demon than the actual devil because he was a victim of it as well. Like he put it in him to be that way, and this is like a bit of a question of this week. And I've just built up a thing inside myself which I'm just like looking forward, and it's actually raising me as well at the same time, because there have been prophetic gifts that have been released, quite a lot of them this week. So I'm being actually raised up whilst actually going down with his circumstances, because like he's in such a deprived situation which he actually loves because of her. He lets things happen to him, like being cut up, hurt, because that's all he's ever known. He doesn't know love like what I've been through. Even though I've been in a boring circumstance, like being unemployed and a lower entity in the world scheme of things. My mum was a good person and he hasn't had that background. It's all been jumbled up, so he isn't capable of knowing love the way that I do. What is he like? So he's kind of in between two gods at the moment. He's always playing the devil's advocate. He'll go wherever it suits him. And I'm saying to him, you've got to be black or white, because you're going to get shoved off the dustpan into the demonic realm. And that's where he is at the moment. God's saying, I'm here because I still love you. So he's actually handing him over to the things he loves. And I just keep saying, because he thinks that this woman is going to love him, but she isn't capable of loving him because she's not rooted in something solid. So I say that your love is just going to keep falling off the coat hanger or the hook on the wall, because I've been there and I've done that. And it makes me feel small because I can't help him, because he doesn't know that thing yet. So he's got to learn the hard way, and I think it's pretty humbling that I've gone through all that sacrifice, emotional sacrifice, and he's yet to go through it. And even though he's gone through a lot, and I feel for him, he's got to go through it. So to realise what love is about. So my prophetic gifts have been increasing each time. I've been in severe pain, Starting to see endless pictures of crosses and monstrous faces in towels and things that don't make sense, such as me as a young girl in my slim years, around about 18, where I looked like Mona Lisa and the Statue of Liberty at once, with the base of the Statue of Liberty placed on the top of my head and some sort of weight placed on my head, which also looked like a mortarboard of education at the same time, with Christ's cross that looked like Brooklyn Bridge. God is also revealing to me his sense of humour too, and keeps hearing his name in random words that are being changed on the radio and in people's speech, such as the other day, like beans are going to find you. In other words, I used to associate audiences with beans, and it's a joke between kind of me and him, or it might be his sense of humour. And also I've been seeing like glitches in the Matrix where people have been repeat walking in front of my eyes, and like freezing and all sorts of strange stuff. And also doing like third word things. It's actually starting to talk to me now as a small silent voice. I was like writing a song the other day, and like it was playing like third word, where my kingdom spouse was making up a word, then I was making up a word, and then God was making up a word, or giving me the word first, and then I had to fill in the blanks, which is about writing a song about Queen of the Underdog. That was kind of the title for me, and like that was strange. And like I've been running around yesterday with all these things he's pouring out about my kingdom spouse, his past and his character, and all sorts of stuff, between this thing between Satan and all these vegetarian things linked, going on about like in the like the new paradise that we won't be eating animals, and that was to do with sin. And I'm trying to work out with my string theory in my head why we would have to offer up animals, even though he's saying, and then he's other things like that he blessed us to eat, anything that it's okay, and it's like all this weird stuff that's like being. I was just writing like a lunatic, and like it's really freaky. I was crying because like overwhelmed. So like it's like he's being humbled, like by his own fleshy desires, and I'm being raised, and I can't handle my own light. It's like people are starting to look at me now, and like he's doing stuff like showing me how to walk upright with authority. Like my stride is changing, and what else? And he's actually like showed me how to discipline my daughter as well, to have more of an authority voice rather than to treat her like a friend. So he's making me more upright and authoritative now, and it's really freaky. So he's like revealing himself in really strange ways. So what else? He's going on about a joke as well, he said to me, which is going on about, must have been tough for Joseph to accept Mary being impregnated by the Holy Spirit, and then God come back with an answer like it was too big to handle. Okay, got on to the next bit. So up to this moment, him and his counterfeit wife are using Magic Realm to mail me harder, buzzing and blocking while they're making love, because they don't like me being on board, which is like blocking my mind to feel it, which is kind of ungrateful, but it's more painful because like it feels like terrible pressure, like another form of punishment. And I get the feeling that I'm trying to be drawn into to the sex thing, because that was the reason why I got drawn in the first place. And that's got drawn in the first place because of that reason, you know, like three in a bed situation, and I won't have anything to do with it. I just resist the sexual feelings and I won't join in at all. It's pretty awful that you can't escape from this, but I know that God is working this out because he wants his soul to come back to him, but he's in a position now where he doesn't want me, and I don't feel he's my husband anymore. It's like all that emotion has been smashed out of me because he's laid into me quite a lot mentally, but he's tried to help me as well at the same time, so he's kind of reflecting his two gods thing, and he's neither good nor bad. Okay, yeah, that's about it. And it's strange because he has shades of showing faith, and then he's actually used scripture to get me through. But because he's got a habit of like running between women, which I've told him that you're just running away from yourself by having sexual hits all the time, which is just like adrenaline hits. You're just running away from yourself. Because I've been there, so I wanted to get that video out of the way because that feels like a closure in a way. But I know it's going to happen in the future, but he refuses to let her go, and I understand that because he loves her, but I don't think he's capable of what he wants. And it's just a case of waiting, and God's promised me a house, which I've always wanted. Because of my circumstance, I could never get up because I chose to be a prisoner rather than a slave. In other words, like going out to work and like working for nothing. I just wanted a house and a car, and he's promised that, and I think there's something in line with my own bloodline as well. There's some sort of royal bloodline. I don't know if money's going to appear from that, or whether it'll be from the music, or I don't know. So watch this space. I think I'm closing this now with the prodigal for the moment, because God's got to do his work with him, and he's raising me up in my own way. So I'm going to be waiting, but I won't be waiting, if you know what I mean. He's promised me that I'm going to live with music, and I can see fruits of that coming, and it's on its way. Thank you. God bless.